Hey guys, Ellis here, coming at you with a new Scout Report episode. This episode will be on Jadon Sancho, and just want to quickly say, obviously, it's been a slight format change. Obviously, you just watched the highlight reel of Jadon Sancho. I only did this because then it's just for me a quick way to increase my view time and get some more minutes under my belt, as the average sort of view time for these videos is only about a minute, like 1 to 2 minutes, which for me I'd like that to be higher. So hopefully by this point, if you have just watched the highlights and you're debating about leaving, please do stay. There's going to be a lot of interesting details about why he is so good, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. Okay, so as I said, this episode will be on Jadon Sancho. He is a 18-year-old British, English I should say, sort of winger who currently plays in Germany for Borussia Dortmund. He came through the Manchester City academy and moved from Man City to Dortmund in 2007 after because of concerns he had with his playtime. This episode, I will be comparing him to Angel Di Maria of PSG fame, as I kind of see him as quite similar players in terms of they're wingers, but they're not necessarily goal scorers. They're more creative. So yeah, I'm just jump straight into this. Okay, so Jadon Sancho this season has made 9 appearances in the league so far. In these 9 appearances, he has scored 4 goals and made 6 assists for his teammates. When comparing that with Di Maria, who has scored 3 goals and 6 assists, that is an extremely interesting stat already, as Di Maria is an elite player. He is, at one point or another, he has been one of the best players in his position in the world. So the fact that Sancho at 18 has got better, more goal involvements in a similar sort of amount of minutes is extremely impressive, and that is why he got called up to the England squad a few months ago. So these goals and assist numbers mean that Sancho is averaging a goal involvement every 45.5 minutes, which is absolutely nuts. That's almost 2 a game. Well, yeah, it's almost 2 a game, which is, again, that is crazy numbers. That is absolutely obscene for an 18-year-old and a winger. Di Maria is also he's got a much higher average goal involvement at 101 minutes, which is just over a goal involvement a game, which is still actually pretty good for a winger. Those are quite they are average numbers for a winger. So again, that really shows how good Sancho has been this season so far. Also, Sancho has been averaging 1.8 dribbles per game, when with 0.9 of these being successful, so exactly half, 50% of his dribbles are successful, which is actually quite a good stat. I suppose they're not elite dribble numbers, but that's okay. I mean, in his limited minutes, it kind of makes sense. He's only on the pitch normally for about 20 to 30 minutes, so he doesn't really have time to get his dribbles away. When compare this with Di Maria this season, he's averaging 1.7 per game with 0.9 being successful, so the same successful rate. The fact that he's averaging more dribbles per game in less minutes than Di Maria is a good sign. I think if Sancho was playing 90 minutes a game, he'd be pushing sort of 3 to 4 dribbles per game, they are getting up to elite numbers for dribbles in a game. Sancho is also averaging 1.9 key passes per game. So key pass is a pass that leads to a goal threat. So, like, for example, he is crossing the ball. He is putting the ball through to a teammate who is then one-on-one with the goalkeeper. That is a key pass. That is a pass that creates a key chance that really a player should be scoring. You compare this with Di Maria, who's averaging 2 key passes per game, which, again, are fairly elite numbers. I mean, a truly elite number, all player, they're averaging about 3 to 4 key passes per game. So around 2 is pretty decent. It's definitely above average, and for an 18-year-old, it's very, very positive numbers. Sancho's also averaging 0.6 shots per game, where Di Maria is also having 3.3. So, I mean, Sancho's having, almost 3 times as less, 4 times less shots than Di Maria is a game, but the quality of shot is better. So you can tell this by the fact that Sancho's actually scored more goals than him. Obviously, Sancho's got 4, Di Maria's got 3. So as much as Sancho is not having as many shots, 4 times less, he's been more clinical this season. With these shots as well, 0.5 out of 0.6 are from inside the box, which is really, really good to see. Obviously, if you're shooting from inside the box, you have a greater chance of scoring than if you're shooting from 30 yards away. With Di Maria, 1.7 have been in the box, so pretty much half of his shots. So that's where you can tell that sort of difference. As you can tell how good Sancho's shot quality is compared to Di Maria. That's why Sancho scored more goals, because he's getting in good positions inside the box and taking shots, which is very important if you are going to be scoring goals on a regular basis. Right, so Jadon Sancho, in my opinion, I think he is one of a very, very sort of fine crop of English players coming through at the moment. You know, you've got Phil Foden, you got Jadon Sancho. I forgot his name there for a second. Did an episode on him. Jadon Sancho, you got Trent Alexander-Arnold, Joe Gomez. You got all these players sort of becoming really, really high quality players. You know, even more Mason Mount and James Maddison. These players that are now England, kind of out of nowhere, has really kind of started to develop really high quality talent at young ages. And I mean, this is shown. I mean, Jadon Sancho, obviously, he's been amazing this season. He's averaging 2 goal involvements a game. And that's in 9 appearances as well. And because of this, you know, he's getting linked with a move back to Man City. He's getting linked with a move to PSG, Manchester United, Liverpool. Everyone's after this kid. And it's clear to see why. Because he does look like, looking at his stats, he does look like he's going to be a fairly elite winger when he's older. You know, I'd compare him to almost sort of Rodrigo levels of potential ability. I mean, obviously he is English, so he is slightly overhyped. And as an England fan myself, it's very easy to get overexcited about young players. It's the same thing as if your club has a great young player, for example, Man United, with all their potential Ronaldo replacements. You know, it's very easy to get onto a hype train and just, you know, follow that and go, yes, this kid is going to be the next Messi or Ronaldo. But I'm not saying it at all. I do think he's going to be a truly elite player in 5 years' time. I mean, he's that this good at 18. If he does improve, I dread to know how good he'll be at 23, 24. Hopefully by then he is playing regular minutes in the Champions Leagues at the moment. I think out of the 9 appearances, I think only 2 of them have been starts. So that is one thing that you can look into his stats with, is that he is coming on when the defenders are tired with 30 minutes to go, and that's why he is, you know, his dribbles are low, but he's still getting past people because they are tired, and he's getting a lot of assists. And that is just part and part of because of where he's coming on and what time in the game he is coming on. But yeah, I just think overall, I just think he's a quality talent. I mean, especially the way he has handled himself as well. I mean, leaving Man City at such a young age in the way he did was an extremely ballsy move. If it didn't go right for him, you know, that could have been his career over. You know, like if Dortmund hadn't worked out for him, he could have easily ended up at a, you know, League 2, League 1 level English club, and that would have been his career pretty much over. It would have taken a lot for him to get back to the level he was at. And I actually think now, with him doing that, he's now painted a path for most English talent. Obviously, most young English players have stayed inside England and tried to develop at their clubs and never got through. And, you know, that's why you see so much wasted talent in England. You look at some players that, if they went abroad and learnt abroad, they could have turned into very, very high quality players. I mean, I dread to know what, you know, Raheem Sterling would have ended up like. I mean, obviously he is a truly elite player now, but I dread to know how he would have been if he went to a club like Dortmund, while he was at Liverpool, maybe. Because these clubs, when they're abroad, they teach young players so differently to English players. For example, you look at Eric Dyer, who obviously come from Sporting Lisbon. He's English, but he spent his whole youth academy time at Sporting Lisbon, and they taught him how to be proficient in centre back, right back, CDM, CM. They make very versatile players that are very talented in multiple areas, whereas you see English players and they're very focused on certain positions. For example, Sterling really is only really a right midfielder. On the left, he's not as good. You look at, I don't know, Dele Alli, he has to play a second striker every game. If you play Dele Alli in CM, he's just not as good. So, these young players now looking at Jadon Sancho and going, you know what, I'm going to go to Germany, I'm going to go to France, I'm going to go to Spain, is such a bonus for the English game, and it's only gonna make English youth players so much better and such a higher quality that England are in such a good position at the moment where we had such a good finish at the World Cup. I think fourth was actually a lot better than most people expected. It was disappointing because we got so on the hype train, but fourth was amazing. And you never know, like in 10 years, well, probably more like 5 or 6 years, these young players that have been winning the Youth World Cups for England will be in the first team. And I mean, you never know, like in the next 10 years, England could have a World Cup or at least a European trophy. Like, that is the quality of talent England are producing at the moment. And a lot of it, if it does happen, a lot of it will be down to Jadon Sancho moving to Dortmund and showing the path for these young English talents to develop abroad. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed that video. It actually took a lot of work. This was actually a really hard video to make, so I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please subscribe. I really want to get my subscribers up at the moment. Please leave a like and a comment. Don't be afraid if it's really negative. Any feedback is good feedback for me. I just want to make this channel better. I want to make the videos of high quality for you guys. I want to make them more interesting. And I just want to, I want to provide good content. And I do want this channel to grow. So, yeah, hope you enjoy, guys. Bye.